Let's talk about hurricane season.
Yeah, it's officially started in the eastern Pacific Ocean, and exactly 2 weeks from today, it will begin in the Atlantic Ocean.
So meteorologist Allison Chinchar is with us here in studio, talking to us about the military's role in hurricane forecasting.
Yes, meteorologists, we use three main tools when we talk about forecasting for hurricanes: satellites, buoys, and perhaps the most important is the hurricane hunters. And that's very important. These are people who fly those airplanes directly into the storms to get the most accurate, up-to-date information. I actually sat down with one of them and got a little bit more insight into the job. Why did you decide to become a hurricane hunter? Most people run away from hurricanes. You guys are actually flying directly into them. Why?
What I see when I'm out in the plane flying is a direct impact that we're able to make to help people protect themselves and their loved ones and their possessions. We're operationally flying hurricanes. There are several different agencies that are involved with that effort. The Air Force is one of those, and we support the National Hurricane Center. Then separately, NOAA has two P3s and a G4. So the P3s and G4 are primarily for research. However, they can be used for operational tasking if need be. With the drops on, so when we actually release it from the plane, the chute is kind of tucked into the top. And as this ejects out of the plane, there's a little probe at the bottom that is going to collect all of our temperature, dew point, pressure, things like that. It actually gets wind speed and direction from a GPS unit embedded within it. So it collects the location at one spot, the location at the next spot, and then it calculates the distance and time it took. And then this drag chute opens up as it's coming out of the plane, and the only purpose for this drag chute is to keep the sonde upright and falling at a correct amount, 2,500 feet per minute. On a standard mission, we'll drop anywhere from 15 to 20 of these. We pick strategic points in the storm that are going to be important for forecasters to understand what the vertical structure of the storm looks like. And it's going to be critical points where the model needs that information and data to be able to accurately depict how strong the storm is before it really starts forecasting forward. Many of us, this is our part-time job. So we have a whole nother part of our lives where, I used to live in the Atlanta area and work in corporate finance, and then went and did this on the weekends. That part-time nature really hits home the point of the significance of the people, the commitment that people are making.
Right, so let's take a look at a real-time example of what those hurricane hunters do. This you're taking a look at, it was Hurricane Michael from last year. Now, during the storm, multiple times, they sent numerous hurricane hunter missions out to collect and gather data from this particular storm, okay? Those drop-ons that you saw in that piece, they will release them from the planes, and it sends us back very important information. For example, the last reading that we got from Hurricane Michael was that winds were sustained around 150 miles per hour, gusting even higher than that. We knew the direction and movement of the storm and even the exact location. Now let's bring it forward to the current day, because this is why it's important. We may be a couple of weeks away from the start of hurricane season, but that doesn't mean things can't start early. Victor and Christy, take a look at this. We have about a 30% chance of this area having some type of tropical or subtropical development over the next 5 days. Now, again, the good news is it's well out over the open Atlantic. We don't expect any direct impacts in the short term, but it's certainly something to watch and a reminder to everyone that hurricane season is about to start.
Yeah, it seemed over the last few years that there's been something brewing out there before June 1st. We'll see if that trend continues. Allison Chinchar, thanks so much. Learned a lot.
Thanks. Yeah.